shrouded by light, but it's steady.
And welcome back to part 2 of the Old Hunters DLC for Bloodborne. This time we're going to enter the research hall, conquer the research hall, and head towards Lady Maria. But, as of right now, we've got 2 hunters to fight. This one here I'd say is the bigger threat because of the physical damage, whilst the other one will just shoot magic shots from a distance at you constantly. So the easiest way to deal with the magic hunter is just to keep away and keep really far away, and she won't bother attacking, she'll just sit back. And then you can just focus on the sword one. But they have got me. The first time I fought them, they killed me because I didn't spot the second hunter on the side hiding on the right. I just went straight for the magic one. Which the magic one, some people believe is Vicar Amelia, like the real Vicar Amelia, because she's doing a very similar thing, wearing very similar garbs to the one we found in the main game. So people thought this might be either a nightmare counterpart or the real deal, but who knows. But our main one's down, so we can actually take on the mage over here, which I'm trying to convince to do a physical attack, which is why I shot then. But she only does physical attacks when she thinks she's got you staggered, or when she's trying to do a panic swing like she's doing now. The spell she's shooting there, it is a DLC weapon, so if you're sitting there going, why don't I have that, you'll be able to get it, just not yet. Because in the research hall there's a side quest where if you find brain fluid and bring it to an NPC, she'll give you stuff as you go through. The first time she won't give you anything necessarily special, but the second time she'll give you a key that will lead you to an area that will allow you to get the spell to use that, which is like it's like a meteorite from the eye spell, like the Black Sky Eye I think it's called, which is quite nice. And if you manage to get the third brain fluid to her, she gives you the milk reed rune, which you need if you want to use Koz's weapon when we get to right at the very end of the DLC, the Koz parasite. But if we got the thing that we got from the Flaming Cleric Beast, we'll be able to activate this lift. If you go under the lift, so after this cutscene that's what I'll be doing, if you go under the lift, you'll be able to get Lawrence's skull, which will allow you to go back to that Flaming Cleric Beast and start the fight against that boss, which I won't be doing in this part, or the next part. I'll be doing it, I will be doing it in this run through, just not for a while. There's a few other bits I get through before I start dealing with that boss. So yeah, unfortunately, you can, when you activate it, it pulls you into a cutscene, so you can't just wait down here and get it immediately. You have to wait. And when you send it up, the piece that'll be underneath it will hold Lawrence's skull. And you also, if you try and jump on the ledge and pick up the item, it won't let you until the lift completely stops for some reason. There's Lawrence's skull. If you pull this, when it eventually lets me, and follow this bit down instead, you'll get access to another DLC weapon. You know, because you already got like a shit ton of them. But this one's a firearm, so it's a bit different. So I believe this is the church cannon. Yes, it is. Hey, see, I can remember what stuff is in this game. And I borrowed Hunter Mark just because I don't want to use the lift all the way back up. So back at the top, we enter the actual research hall. We get some insight for it. And this door on the right I think's locked, yeah. But the side quest I was on about is on the other side of that door. So if you can find your way to the other side of it, then you'll be able to get it. The water here is poisonous, as that thing just fell to its death. It gives you blue elixirs, because blue elixirs are actually really handy in this area. There's a lot of enemies that are fucking useless at spotting you if you can use a blue elixir, so you can skip a lot of this area. I don't do it justice yet. On the second half of it, because when you're halfway through you change the staircase, on the second half of it I get a lot more use out of it, but as of right now you're not going to see me like get much use out of it. I think after this one I stop using it. Because how it works, if you're standing still, an enemy could be touching you and they won't notice you. But if you move, they have to be at point blank before they'll notice you. So at a range they still won't notice you. So you can really abuse it in this area because a lot of the enemies just won't notice. Mind the traps. These traps. Because when I played it through with Reese, we discovered that because of the co-op, you know, how everything does extra damage in co-op, he got one shot by it. And I don't know if it will apply in single player, but it's better to be safe than sorry, so don't do it. Oh, there's actually an item I miss when I go through it, because when I reach the other side I bold hunter mark once I get everything I need, instead of climbing down the slow way. And if you climb down the slow way you can find a set of keys that open up the dungeon that was in the part that I had to re-record. That dungeon that we re-record, all but one of the doors for it will open. And you get a new weapon out of it for opening doors, because there's a hunter you can find in there that has the new weapon. I can't remember for the life of me what that weapon is. It's not the whirligig sword, because we get that later on. I can't remember what weapon it is. I'll have to get back to you on that one. But also in the dungeon you can get a knuckle duster. It's like, which is sweet if you don't really want to use a gun, but you just want to get the extra damage, like a quick hit in. This is the lift back down to the other side of the door, which I take to start the side quest that I was on about. Because we're looking for 3 brain fluids, but there's only 2 of them you can find, because she has technically got the 3rd one, but you have to go a certain distance in her side quest before you find she has the 3rd one. So when you start you'll ask for brain fluid, and from this point there's 2 enemies that physically can't die, but if you hit them they sort of flatten out and then get bulky again, and you use that to get the brain fluids from them. I can't say brain fluid properly for some reason today. Also, when you come up here, for some reason there's more enemies. The spawn pattern of these enemies seems quite weird. Well, it's less spawn pattern, more their movement pattern. They move around all over the place. So if you leave an area and come back to it, there's usually more trouble. And for some reason, I don't know if it's just me, but when those things attack, the weird raw screech "nyah" thing they make sounds exactly like the sound Zant made in Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess when you're fighting him. Look, that "nyah" that sounds exactly like Zant when he goes ballistic in this fight in Twilight Princess. Like, it could easily that they just use the sound clip because it's just a floating sound clip. It isn't any like actual voice individual. It could easily just be a ripped sound clip, so it just ended up being that way, but it sounds really similar. The other one is that the moon presence's weird echoey roar sounds like Dark Gaia's roar from Sonic Unleashed. That's the other one that sounds like a copied, or they just happen to use the same voice clip. Not voice clip, like sound as clip. It's not really a voice for either of them, it's just a "nyah" or a weird hypnotic thing. Also, this guy's a prick. Don't be surprised if he kills you. Right, I'm just going to point it out now. To the left of me, those stairs is where you're supposed to go. Watch me not go that way and end up getting lost a little later on. I go this way! Because I see a ladder and a path down here, so I go this way. And yeah, there's got when I explore this area out, you'll see me just speed up the footage because I just flat out get lost. Because I forgot about that area because I just went away from it, I didn't go up it. But yeah, if you're following along, go up those stairs. You don't have to go down here if you don't want to. But yeah, I know it's more likely than not just a coincidence. But couldn't help but find it funny when I heard these things like roars, and when I heard the moon presence's roars, and I immediately was like, hey, that sounds like Zant, and hey, that sounds like Dark Gaia. If you don't know what I mean, look it up. Look up the Zant fight from Twilight Princess. When he goes like, he starts going mad as the phases go on in this fight. Every so often, he'll just make some really weird sounds that sound very similar to these guys. And in Dark Gaia, every time the thing moves its head, similar to Moon Presence, it makes that weird echoey roar thing. We're currently sitting on 100,000 blood echoes. Ow. These guys do hurt, by the way. Don't think. Well, keep in mind I'm still under-leveled, but these guys can hurt. So I end up being, by the time we reach the very end of the DLC, I killed the final boss of the DLC at level 99, which I don't recommend at all. You'll see when we get to it, I have a very troublesome fight there, because I just really fucking struggle. But at this point I'm lost. I'm going the wrong way. I'm going back the way I came. And you're going to really start to see that. You're going to start to see me just head in random directions to see where it takes me. This stairway we're on now, when we kill our rat friend, the stairway we're on now, when we change the stairway, will be the one that will lead to the boss of this area. The Living Failures, which is now just a great name. Oh, there's also this here. So I guess it was good that I came this way, because I would have missed this. This person planting a flower that I just massacred without mercy. And down there you can see the area where you can get the black sky eye, if you can give the brain fluids to the NPC strapped to the chair. And if you can't, if you've got two and it only lets you give one, come back later, because it's almost like an invisible time thing that has to pass first. Also, I don't think this one has legs. That's kind of creepy. Well, and then later on there's ones that outright don't have heads, so I guess it could be worse. At this point I am just exploring the side area. I don't have to be here. Jesus Christ. Well, we get the decorative hunter's garbs if you want that. What, the one thing that is worth mentioning is that if you carry on, it will lead to a ladder that will lead to the room where we can take the lift down to the NPC, so you've got a full circle bit here. And it is when I climb this ladder I realise I was lost, so I just speed it up until I go back to those stairs. Yeah. I get fucking lost. Like, flat out. I'm not even going to joke around with it, I just get flat out lost, and eventually I work my way back and realise the stairs. Oh, and I had a massive facepalm moment recording that. Oh well. It's easier than me just pointing out than if I was doing it live, and I was just sitting there going, where do I go? But that being said, I am going back to live when I start Uncharted 2. And I wanted to get on. There's a reason why I did Uncharted 1 as quick as I did, is because I wanted to get onto Uncharted 2, but I didn't want to make it back to back. And yeah, this is a grab attack that poisons. So I'm a bit like, fuck you, and just fucking destroy him for getting me poisons. I haven't been poisoned properly in ages. I think it was Nightmare Frontier the last time I got proper poisons. But yeah, if we press on. Oh, a dirty, damp blood gem. Don't go down there, Rob. I could see my character like considering it. So I was looking towards it, the camera was tilting, I was considering jumping down there. Don't do it. I know this area better now. I've gone through this area again since. So I do know where I'm going now. It was just like, it was just on this recording. I think I was having a bad day. It happens to all of us, unfortunately. It's just something that happens. If you jump down here, there's a hunter, but it's also the first enemy that will drop the brain fluid. It's the enemy that's going plip plop, plip plop, plip plop, plip plop right now. And look at this hunter, just take it in the face. And then jump down, and then... Oops. Did they die? Yeah, they died. I got the blood echoes. So that hunter died from that. Nice. And there is a dude on a chain gun you can hear going mad upstairs, killing some of the enemies for us, thankfully. If you haven't triggered the lift, don't jump down there. That's a bottomless pit. If you've triggered the lift, you can land straight on the roof of the lift, so you can get an easy way down. They're really nice, the shortcuts in the lecture. They're not the lecture building, these areas. They're the research hall. I think this is another case of where I've realised I've gone to a spot where I shouldn't have really gone to. Because when you jump down to that ledge for the brain fluid, you're jumping down there and committing to going the way. So now we just have to do a bit of circling before I realise I've gone the wrong way and get back on the main path. Which is as simple as go back to where the blobby guy dropping the brain fluid was, and jump to the ledge to your right. You can see there.
Lady Maria, what say you? Say.
Poor guy, or girl, creature, thing, blob. No, I should have really just fast forwarded back to where I was, but I've kept it in. It's not like I'm lost this time. I know where I'm going back to. But this part, I think, is going to end up being one of, if not the longest part, because of how much time I spent lost here. Yet when we get to the boss fight, I let the boss fight go on long enough to show off what the boss can do, but then afterwards I just sort of mow him down. Because the Living Failures are not a hard fight. The Living Failures are the weakest boss of the DLC. I love their battle theme. I think they've got a brilliant battle theme because it really fits the whole alien-like feel of the boss. But the actual fight itself is very weak. It's Celestial Emissary 2.0. And if it's that guy, he noticed, but he didn't notice until I was much, much closer than how he would have noticed if I was. That's me showing partial the effectiveness of the blue elixir. And here's the lift I was on about. If you send it down, if you go to the other spot, you can drop into it now, so you don't have to go all the way around if you end up going down there. Also, that was dangerous. Don't do that, what I did. Don't sprint past traps. I do it because I know I can get away with it, but if it's your first time through, I don't recommend it until you know you can get away with it. This is the only floor that you can really go full around. Oh, here's the headless variant I was on about. That one's dead. You know, I don't really have a reason to be killing these guys. I know I'm under level, so anything helps. But like, they're not hurting anyone. They're just wandering around. Also, trap. That was me again, sprinting past it when you really shouldn't. What's in here? Oh, I know this room. Be careful. Once you pick up the item in the back here, the enlarged head, it's a joke weapon. It's not a weapon, it's an armor piece, but it has like nothing. It just makes you look like a blob head. All the blobs in the area will come alive, but these aren't the normal ones. These are aggressive ones that will actually fight back and can be killed. But the one to notice, and I think I actually get caught by it because I forget about it, is that there's one on the roof of the door frame. That one. And that one also comes alive when you pick up the item. So I get caught by that, but for your reference, shoot at it, look up and just put a bullet in it to make it drop down. Because then you won't get grabbed like I got there. Come on, Rob, wrong way. Right now we're trying to work our way to the shaft, loft, roof area where there's just a shit ton of very thin walkways. It's not the thinnest walkways we've ever had from a FromSoft game. I mean, Anor Londo, yeah, but it's still bad. Right, this guy's killed me more than the other one. This is the same super evil slamming enemy, but this one makes more of a conscious effort to try and push you up the stairs. So be very conscious of that, because from this height you will die. You're at like one of the highest points here. You're on the highest main floor, the rest is roof panels and roof points. So it's a very long drop if you fall off. But if you climb this, we'll be able to get to it. And you can see I've lowered the amount of insight I've got a little bit, so I have brought a few things with it. I think it was mainly just blue elixir for this area I brought. But it could have also easily been the armor sets I brought. You know, the Gascoigne and the Hunter of the Chain Gun. I think I brought their armor sets just so I don't want the insight I get to be wasted, just random insight. I want it to still be ticking up so you can see how much I'm getting from everything. Because Moon Presence, it's 5 for starting the fight, 5 for finishing it. But I don't think that was very clear when I started the fight because I was already borderline 99. So I didn't get the 5 and 5. Also, there's a guy up here you can find that talks about the rainwater that bangs his head against the window a lot. I have no idea if you can actually get anything or there's anything to be found. Like, I haven't spoken to him with the enlarged head on or in kin mode, but in this run I just killed him. But it might be something worth checking out on my main on the main account, or if you guys know, let me know if there is something to be gotten from him, or if he's just there to mention that there's water everywhere, which is important for the last area, because behind the walls of the research hall is the fishing hamlet, which is a very watery area that has a very dark story surrounding it, involving drowning and mass murder and experiments and shit like that. Yeah, not fun stuff. And that's what a lot of these guys, when they talk about water or hearing water, things like that are referring to. Which is dark as shit, but it is what it is. Here's the other guy who drops brain fluid and said there's only 2 you can collect. The third one you will get by following through the side quest, because the woman in the chair will turn into one of these a little after you give her the second brain fluid. Also, the madmen are running around. Can you see them darting around at the bottom of the stairs? The mad ones. They're the ones where I'm going to really show how beautiful the blue elixir can be in the right hands, because I'm going to stand on the side of the stairs, use the blue elixir, and they won't spot me. I'm just going to stand still and watch. They will run right up, point fucking blank, and then run away. The blue elixir is amazing. They just couldn't see me because I was standing still, and they would have struggled to see me unless they were very close. And two enemies died just then. Also, you don't have to go for this chest. It's only a blood gem. There's no new weapons from this. You'd think it was with the record so far, but it's not. It's a fire strike gem though, which is nice. I think I'll use another one coming up, another blue elixir. So I know the sprinters are going to be coming back. Yeah. Look how close he got and he just didn't spot me. It's ridiculous. And I do think the other 2 died. I think I know how, because the chain gunner didn't die when I knocked him off. When he fell off the stairs he didn't fall that far, so I think he might have just shot them down. Look at them. Excitable bugger. At this point I'm trying to work a way down. The easiest way to do it, if you, since I am going to bold hunter mark, but in case you don't have a bold hunter mark, work your way to the lift and lift your way to the middle floor and then jump to the middle piece and you'll be in front of the boss door. Or you can just take the lift all the way down. The choice is yours. But eventually you're going to see I just bold hunter mark. Which, looking back, I really shouldn't have, because I wasn't considering the fact that some of you might not have it, but it's just what I do in the end. I think I really was just in a really shit mood and just on a bad day sort of thing. When I recorded it. Yeah, there we go. And back in the Hunter's Dream, because I just skipped going to the lantern. I level up a bit more, which yeah, puts me up to level 90. So the level I am now is the level I recommend starting the DLC in the first place with. So yeah, I'm under leveled for my consideration. There are some people that'll go in there like level 60 and be quite comfortable with it, but I'm not that person. I think this is really fucking hard at the DLC. And the only way you're going to get through it at level 60 is if you're good at Beasted and Rally, Because if you build up the rally, the health bars can drop like rocks, because a lot of the bosses here aren't good with rally. They just struggle with it. You can just, like, Ludwig's the best example. Ludwig's the best example. I've seen videos of people around level 50 to 60 do excess of 5,000 damage in one combo through rally, because the first hit only did a couple hundred, but the rally just built up so ridiculously quick through it with the beast blood pellet. But now we're heading straight for the boss. Once you move the stairs, Simon will be here to tell you about Lady Maria, so you can go and know what your objective is, so to speak. Because if you can get past Lady Maria, you'll find the real secret, as Simon's referring to. Alright, let's give her a brain fluid. The first item she gives you is the regenerative health blood vial, which if you haven't got from either of the two people you can get in church, this is a nice spot to get it for now. But it's not a permanent thing. When she starts asking for another brain fluid, you won't be able to get another one from her. Which, I understand why, it's to stop it being OP, like every time you lose one, just go back and get another one. It's the same way you can't, there's only a limited amount of your Sefka blood vials you can get in the game, because it'd be too overpowered. Even though I think the Sefka blood vials heal just the right amount of health. I feel the blood vials heal a little too little sometimes. But from the middle, am I going the right way? Because it's from the middle, I think you jump down to, oh no, it is right here. Don't jump down, just follow the stairs up, and there's the door to our next boss. And I don't even pause, because usually when I start to a boss I pause the recording and restart it, so if I die I can just edit. I don't even do it, I have so much confidence I'm going to win this fight in one. Because they're not a hard fight at all. And all of them can be backstabbed and parried. How it works is that there's an army that's going to slowly build, so the more time you spend without killing one, the more you'll have to deal with. But if you can keep on top of them, then you only have to deal with a couple at a time. Each one only has a portion of the max health bar at the bottom. When that portion runs out, they fall over and die. That's the only attack the only attacker consider a threat. That quick headbutt, because it will catch you out. And I think I'm experimenting, because I don't actually know what these guys' weaknesses are, so I do a lot of experimenting in this fight. Unfortunately, he moved away. The only other attack that can be considered a threat, if you don't know how to deal with it, is the meteor rain, which they do in this fight. Yeah, do. Oh, it's the English and magnificent language. But they do attempt the meteor rain, and I'll show you easily how to dodge that. It's that massive flower in the middle. That's the easiest way to dodge it. You just look at where it's coming from, then sit behind it. And the meteors always come from the same spot, so if you know where they are going to come from beforehand, you're fine. So I think they come to where I am right now, the left. Like, this comes from where the camera's pointing. I might be wrong, but I think this way it is, and then the one's dead. There's some that are more physical and some that are more magic focused. If you can get more physical ones, it's your treat. But if not, the magic ones aren't too bad, they're just more annoying. But I do like these guys' themes, because as I said, it sounds very alien-like, which I think really fits these guys. Another one bites the dust. But yeah, the strategy for these guys, just parry and backstab, and then just keep an eye out for spells. And here's the meteor rain. And it's where the music goes into awesome. Like, I like this part of the track, but yeah, just look for where it is, sit behind the flower, and you can't be hit by it. So, Bloodborne's soundtrack is one of the few soundtracks I really wish we would hear live, but the entire soundtrack played live. But it's also one of the games I don't think we'll ever get that luxury, unfortunately. But the main themes you can hear live, and the cleric beast you can hear in a recording studio. But other than that, there's no live recordings I could find. And I think it's such a shame, because it's such a magnificent soundtrack for this game. I'd love to hear what it sounds like live. But seriously, the living failures, they've thrown everything they can throw at us. If you're at this point of the fight like I am, you're winning. Because you know exactly what they can throw at you at this point. You've won. You said the hardest part of this boss is getting here. Because of me getting lost in the research hall. Other than that, This fight is easy compared to the rest. Look, if you get cocky, yeah, of course they can kill you, but then so can any boss. So can the Celestial Emissary, for fuck's sake. And they're like the easiest, most pathetic boss in the game. So can the Witches of Endwyn. If you get cocky, you die. But it's unlikely with these guys. Also, I could have done the finishing blow there, I decided to heal instead. So I wanted to see where the meteorites are coming from. And there's me finishing the fight proper. And we get the Astral Clock Tower key. Oh, next part's gonna be fun. Because behind that door isn't another full-blown area, it's straight to the next boss. It's straight to Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. Hands down my favourite boss in the entire game. And I'm gonna handle that next time. Because I want to talk a lot about that fight, and I'm dedicating the whole video to her boss fight. So next time, on Bloodborne, the old Hunters DLC, we take on Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. But then, you take care now. Wow, my throat's sore.